In this video entitled Virtual Merchandising, Revolutionizing Retail in the Digital Age, we're going to discuss some things that differentiate virtual merchandising from visual merchandising and some different components of digital and other media sources that have aided in projecting and propelling virtual merchandising to the forefront of US and global retail. So, the definition of virtual merchandising is merchandising that involves using digital tools and technologies to showcase products, create immersive shopping experiences, and drive sales in the online retail space. Conversely, with visual merchandising, we're pretty much doing a lot of that in the physical retail space. So we're thinking bricks and mortar at that point for visual merchandising, and we're not much so using a lot of our technology. We're more so catering to all of our senses. So that virtual merchandising refers to this like the strategic use of these digital technologies, whereas when we're talking about visual merchandising, we're using again our senses. So we're using our sight, we're using our hearing, we're using our smell, taste, and touch. And people don't always think about our taste, but there's usually, especially in obviously grocery store settings, where we utilize samples, tasting samples to attract customers, because the whole point of both merchandising as a whole is to attract customers into our retail spaces, whether it's online or in person. And virtual merchandising it involves a lot of leveraging these different digital elements. So we're going to use those high quality images, videos, augmented reality, and virtual reality, as well as other AI and interactive features to really showcase our products and attempt to simulate some kind of physical retail environment in this online space while still engaging the customers in some kind of compelling way. This is kind of difficult for most established bricks and mortar stores who have solely been bricks and mortar for so long. This whole concept of buying online and e-commerce didn't come around until really around the 90s, when internet and computers became very widespread in the homes. So we're going to have to kind of forecast the future of virtual merchandising and visual merchandising. A lot of people are crossing over and using what's called a clicks and mortar retail strategy, where they have both. They have a physical store and they have an online presence. And then you have so many people who are strictly online. So they're using this e-commerce, which is the websites and the social media, but they also have established what's called m-commerce. With the advent of a lot of smart technology and smartphones and smart watches, we have the mobile apps, we have text messaging. We're no longer just use our phone to make a call or even to send a text message. We're shopping, we're writing papers, we're connecting, we're video chatting, we're more involved in each other's lives, and we're evolving when it comes down to our purchasing and our retail preferences and strategies and shopping habits. So we're going to utilize these innovative technologies to create these virtual experiences to try to bridge that gap between our physical and digital retail realms, like I said, but still offering the customers a rich and immersive shopping experience. They don't want to feel isolated. They still want to feel as though someone is there and paying attention to their shopping needs, whether it's suggesting additional purchases or items that they can purchase to kind of supplement what they already had, or being able to ask someone a question. The live chats are very important in this virtual merchandising, online, and e-commerce retail space. So the importance of virtual merchandising obviously is going to enhance the customer experiences. Even before COVID, a lot of customers and consumers had switched to purchasing online. In the beginning, as I said, it evolved in the 1990s, mid to late 90s, and so many people were afraid to actually partake in purchasing items and shopping online. We're always afraid of identity theft, that someone's going to steal our banking information, our social security numbers, and our identity in general. We're afraid that our products are not going to come the way that we expected. We can't touch it, we can't feel it, we can't inspect it before we get it. We have a delayed time before we receive our products. And return policies are not always the best. We may have to pay additional shipping and handling, processing fees, restocking fees, but at the same time, it's something that hasn't really deterred a lot of people from participating in this whole process of shopping online or shopping on our mobile apps have really grown and, like I said, have been propelled to the forefront in recent decades, especially with COVID. Even though there are statistics out there that say that yes, online shopping increased during COVID, specifically during the shutdown, but it didn't necessarily surpass in-store purchases. It's still a delicate balance. It's still in second place, I guess you could say, when it comes down to the whole shopping experience. But as I said, it showcases the customer experiences and it showcases products in a visually appealing way. When you have an online presence, you have an online store, you can usually do a lot more things compared to being in person, especially when it comes down to fashion, because we can always embed those high quality videos, we have sound playing, we can have different images flashing by that I can't always do in store. We can also have different body types represented to showcase what it will look like on a small, medium, large, X large, and so forth. And that's something that I know companies such as Good American have really stepped up when it comes down to showcasing their products, because all of us are not the same size, we're not the same height, we're not the same dimensions and proportions, body wise, we're not the same skin tones. The lip bar that is sold at Target will showcase different lip stains and lipsticks and lip glosses on various ethnicities and skin tones, so that it's not a guessing game anymore. The virtual try-ons that so many people are utilizing, such as Zales and Kate and Sephora, Warby Parker, Kate Spade, and so many others, allows the customers to interact with the products virtually. Because again, we cannot touch it, we cannot feel it, we cannot inspect it. I don't know how big the lenses are in this particular, pair of sunglasses or other eyewear online just based on the pictures compared to somebody else, because that model's face may not look like my face. That model's face might be a little bit slimmer, more elongated, a little bit more gaunt looking, and my face may be a little bit more oval shaped, a little bit more round, a little bit more fleshed out. So I need to see what that's going to look like on me. And obviously with the virtual try on, it allows customers to do so. Virtual merchandising also increases engagement and conversion rates. Those conversion rates of changing just a window browser or consumer to a customer. Those customers are people who are actually purchasing our items, our products, our services. Consumers are not. So if we've ever gone to shopping centers, shopping plazas, malls, or anything like that, and we just walked by a store, looked through the window, and then kept walking, that's a consumer for that particular retailer. But if we went in, we browsed around, we touched things, we picked up, we tried on, and made a purchase, we're now a customer. So virtual merchandising allows these retailers who have an online presence to convert those consumers into purchasing customers and even potentially repeat customers. Because it's not enough that we just have somebody make a one-time purchase. We want them to come back. We want them to patronize our store and then become a part of our loyal customer following. And virtual merchandising also allows that seamless adaptation to the digital era. So we're responding to changes in consumer behaviors and preferences for online shopping a little bit more instantaneously. We can track that data. Something that's called social listening is really big and really important when we're talking about online retailing. Wherever we click, wherever we search, whatever we're liking online, especially on social media, all of that data is being tracked, and these companies can actually pay to have that data. They want to access to it. They want to be able to see what are our customers liking? What are the videos that they're watching on YouTube or other social media platforms? TikTok is huge in the younger demographic, and even some of the older generations have started to at least scroll through TikTok. And because so many people are utilizing these social media platforms, we have now opportunities to be able to purchase immediately without having to be redirected to the website, try to find it again. It also allows us to see exactly some purchasing patterns and trends may develop or lie for our customers. It's a little bit more easy for us to do that online as opposed to in person, because that means that I have to kind of keep track in person of how often you've come into my store. But when it's online, I have that aggregate data. I have that information because it's captured in my ordering system for you specifically. And then just like with Amazon, I can see your purchase history and I can kind of put up again, buy this again, repurchase. You remember you bought this particular item 6 months ago? Well, we have a new item that's similar or in a different color. So we can have a little bit more, again, interaction and engagement with our customers when we're using virtual merchandising and we're using online retailing. Some components of virtual merchandising, as I said before, is visual merchandising, but for the digital space. But again, the use of those high quality images, videos, and even 360-degree views. So we can see the product all even on the body, all the way around, on various body types. We can see those really amped up images of what the product looks like. We can see where those videos of whoever's using the product, we can see that real life experience with it, either even if it's fashion or if it's a product such as a tumbler or a cooler box or a car or anything such as that, any kind of product or even any kind of service. Those videos really show, especially for fashion, movement of the product, movement of the item that the person is wearing, and it creates those visually appealing product displays. As we know, lighting in retail spaces is totally different from lighting when we go outside. And that's even different from the lighting that we have in our homes. Our light bulbs have different colors in them. Some of them are a little bit more warm tones, some of them are cooler tones. Obviously, we have LED lights where you can change the different colors, but a lot of our light bulbs for residential use don't really have that true sunlight appeal to it. And think about when we go to our retailers. Typically, most retailers have some kind of fluorescent lighting in them. Those are not the best types of light to use when we're trying to determine how our products are going to look, especially on the bodies of different consumers and customers. We all have different undertones to our skin tones. Some have warm, some have cool, some have more olive, some have a mixture, and so forth. But it's not a good representation a lot of times once we get in the store. We have to go outside or wait until we get home to get a true feel of some of these products that we're actually going to use. But these high quality images and these videos give a little bit better representation. Yes, they may be amped up in post production, but at the same time, they give us a better representation of what those products are going to look like or how they're going to perform, as opposed to it being just a static, non moving product in store. We also have augmented reality and virtual reality, so AR and VR. Those technologies have been enabled, they have been implemented. So, with augmented reality, we can do this real world digital information overlay. So, this is apps a lot of times that are on our mobile phones where we can point it toward a product and it can pull data to say that so many people like this on social media or on our website. This particular item is on sale. It's available in these sizes. These are the prices. That's augmented reality. But we also have that virtual reality where it's a completely digital space fully enclosed, this synthetic environment with no sense of the real world, and we're just in a new complete space. I can virtually walk through your retailer. I may not be able to try it on or touch it and feel it in person, but I can see the layout of things. And with that implementation, customers are better able to visualize the products in their spaces. Augmented reality, especially, is huge when we're talking about purchasing appliances as well as furniture. Will it fit in my space? So many retailers, such as like Best Buy, Ashley, Rooms to Go, and so some others, and Amazon also will, and Target also will allow you to tap on a product. Say, for instance, I want an area rug for my living room and I want it to be a certain size. I'll go with 8 feet by 10 feet. I can tap on that product in the mobile app and I can scan my floor in my apartment or in my house, and that rug will be laid out on my floor so I can see just how big it's going to fit in the space. This has been a game changer for a lot of people, because a lot of times when we go shopping for things, we may know that we need them, but we have forgotten to take a measurement. I forgot how big my bed is. I forgot how big my living room is. I forgot how big my bathroom or my bedroom is. But if I'm shopping online, I can virtually see how these items are going to fit into my space. And we also are allowed to have that personalization and customization that is not always there when we're talking about shopping in person in a physical brick and mortar store. We're going to tailor those products on recommendations based on our preferences. Customization and personalization is really huge, even when it comes down to our laptops, obviously our phones with the different cases, but also things such as those Stanley tumblers that are really popular at the moment and other tumblers. Everyone wants some kind of personalization. I want my name on a hoodie. I want this image on a blanket and so forth. That's capable, we're capable of doing those things because of virtual merchandising and online shopping, e-commerce and m-commerce. Otherwise, it'll be kind of difficult to determine just how this blanket is going to look, just how my name is going to be stylized on a necklace, just how this canvas is going to look without physically getting that product. And it may not be exactly what I want. I can make those adjustments online. That's thanks to virtual merchandising. And as I said before, it also offers that virtual try on feature or other customization options so that I can play with things, I can adjust things, I can see exactly how it's going to look or get a better representation of how it's going to look without having to get into my vehicle and drive however the distance. If I want to try on jewelry online, I don't have to drive all the way to a Birmingham or an Oxford or an Atlanta or Montgomery area to go to that particular retailer. I can do it in the comfort of my own home. And that's the other thing about virtual merchandising. We used to make a day out of shopping. Girls weekend, we go shopping, or we go shopping with the family, so we're going to be at the mall when it opens and we're going to leave when it closes, because it was so much to do during those times. The kids had arcades that they can go and play if they didn't want to follow mom and dad around with shopping. You had places to sit, you had places to relax, you had places to eat, you had the movie theater there. So it was a whole day of entertainment and fun and shopping experiences. We don't necessarily have all of that when we're in the virtual space, but at the same time, we have different things that still try to make us a little bit more engaged with the product and interactive with this particular retailer. Here are some case studies, some examples of virtual merchandising. You can go through and click on each one and just kind of read it and see what they're talking about, but they're a little bit more self-explanatory just based on the heading. IKEA is another retailer that utilizes augmented reality so that the customers can see how the furniture is going to look in their homes before they purchase it. colors clash sometimes. So we may think that I love the color of this sofa or I love the color of this rug, but when we get it into our space, one, it may not fit, but then two, it may not coordinate well with other things that we have. So that's a way for us to really look at the products before we invest the time in actually making the purchase again or getting into our vehicles and having to go and walk through that store, fight with traffic, and so forth. The other case study is the virtual try on in fashion. I mentioned that about Kate Spade and Warby Parker and Zales and Kay's and Jared's and some others, but they also offer augmented reality with virtual fitting rooms to try on their products before you actually go. And you can see an image of the lady. She has her tablet with her foot extended so she can try on this booty in her home. That was unheard of back in the day. That wasn't something that some people thought would ever be able to happen. I have to physically go try on the shoe. Now she can't tell if it's comfortable to walk in, if it's too big, if it's too little, or any of that. She can just really see how it looks on her foot. And for some people, that's enough. But for others, we're missing that try on feature. We're missing that touch and feel that's kind of crucial and vital in determining whether or not we make that final purchase. And then the last case study is the interactive product configurations, that customization, that personalization. This has been around for decades. You can build your own car online. If I want a Cadillac, say for instance, and I want the SUV, whichever one is out. I don't think the XTS is still made, but if it is, we'll say for instance the XTS. And I want a different color for the body. I want my wheels to look this way. I want the interior to look this way. I want to add this package. That's that personalization and customization that we can't get when we go to a physical car lot. They have what they have on inventory essentially. So these automotive companies are providing tools so that we can visualize those cars online. And if it's something exactly highly unlikely, but exactly what we want, we might be able to then go to the retailer and find it, or they can make it for us. They can ship it to us or ship it to the closest retailer, and then we can go pick it up. The image that's shown there, if I'm not mistaken, is from Lamborghini. And that just shows that I'm able to toggle back and forth and see what the different colors look like on this particular vehicle. If I don't like the alloy wheels that are on there, I can change it. I can change the color of the rim a lot of times. I can change the interior. If I want the running lights or I want the lights, LED panels on the car door, so when the car opens or the door opens, it shines down on the ground. I can do that. But for the most part, if it's not that specific of details on the car lot, we're missing out. But we can do those things online. And again, that's kind of where that clicks and mortar plays and comes into play. It's also where what's called showrooming comes into play, and reverse showrooming. With showrooming, we actually go to a physical retailer, look around and see what products they have. We might try on, we're going to touch, we're going to feel, we're going to inspect it, but we don't buy it there in the store. Instead, we go to the retailer's website and make the order, because there might be discounts online. There might be other sizes, other colors that are available that were not available in the store. That's where we place our order. So for showrooming, we go to a physical location and then we make our purchase online. With reverse showrooming, obviously it's the opposite. We're looking online for things and we're finding where we want them. A lot of people do this with grocery shopping. I need a specific item. I need to know if it's in stock at the Walmart closest to me, and I want to know what aisle it's on. And instead of waiting for it to be shipped to me or spending more money for, again, processing fees, the shipping and handling fees, I will physically get in my car, go to the retailer, go to that specific aisle, pick it up, and now I have it. Not necessarily instantaneously, but definitely with before it would have been able to ship to me. Even when it comes down to next day or same day delivery, it's usually quicker to just go to the store. So a lot of people will, well, I won't say a lot, I'll change that term, but some people will choose to look at things online and then get in their cars or their vehicles, and they will go to the physical retailer and make the purchase then. So that's reverse showrooming. Some benefits of virtual merchandising for the business. Obviously, there's some cost efficiencies that are associated with it. So there's the reduction, obviously, for that overhead. I don't need a physical space. I might just have a warehouse to store my inventory, and that's it. I can run the business out of out of my home. I don't have to have mannequins and other visual displays. I'm paying for images that possibly somebody else creates, or that I'll create my images myself, but it's still not as many displays that I'm needing. And I may not have as many employees. So instead of employing 15 to 20 people, it might be 3 to 5 people, including myself. There's a bigger global reach when we're talking about using virtual merchandising for business. If my business is located in Jacksonville, Alabama, that's my reach, the immediate Jacksonville area, possibly within a 70-mile radius or an hour radius. But if I have an online presence, I have that clicks and mortar marketing and promotional mix strategy, I'm reaching customers worldwide. There are no geographical limitations. My company can reach people that I never thought that I would be able to reach. We have some data driven insights as well. I was talking about social listening earlier. So we're gathering data on customer interactions and preferences, and then I can optimize my strategies to kind of tailor and focus things on that particular customer. Instead of sending you out every email blast, every social media blast, every text blast, every pop up notification blast from my or push notification blast from my mobile app, I can customize it for you. Do you want to know about the latest sneakers that we get in? Do you want to know about the latest perfumes that we get in from this particular company that you from which you purchased before, or this particular brand that you purchased before? That's all possible. That's all something that we can do a little bit easier with virtual merchandising. We have a lot more results. Like, we know when people have clicked on something a lot more or engaged with something a lot more with virtual merchandising compared to visual merchandising. We don't have somebody physically standing there and watching how many times did this customer walk up to this display. Did this customer engage with it? Did they touch it? Did they feel it? Did they pick something up and then they purchased it? We don't always know that. But with virtual merchandising, I know how many clicks something got. I know how many watches a video got, and so forth. And there's also that competitive advantage that's a benefit of virtual merchandising for businesses. Standing out in the crowded market by offering innovative shopping experiences. Those who really we're a little bit more forward thinking when it comes down to being online, and we're able to get into the virtual try on first, and the videos that were embedded and the various body types and models showcasing the products. They have a customer base that some people would love to have, because now it's more established that they're known for this. Oh, they have the ability to see what something's going to look like in my space without me having to go do that. They have the ability to customize my car. Nobody else is offering that. They will put my name on the seats. Nobody is offering that. So now you become the go-to person, all because you're utilizing those components of virtual merchandising. Just like with anything else, obviously virtual merchandising is not without its challenges. So there are some technological limitations, the availability and the affordability of these advanced technologies. Because again, virtual reality and augmented reality, that's not something that's inexpensive for a lot of companies, because that's something that has to be done well. It has to work, it has to perform. And also, like, the heightened security of everything. when it comes down to the security and privacy concerns. I jumped down just a little bit, but handling that sensitive customer data in the virtual environments is going to link back up to those technological limitations. If I don't have the money to invest in a security system that makes sure that your information is encrypted, and I have all these firewalls in place that there are not going to be any data breaches, you may not want to do business with me. Those might be the sites that get blocked on our phones or on our laptops or on our desktops. Those might be the apps that somebody does create a Trojan horse and they back their way into there, and they steal our customers' data. So those are some challenges. Also, the user experience. We got to make sure that there's this seamless, intuitive virtual shopping experience. I shouldn't get frustrated. I shouldn't get deterred from making a purchase with you because there are issues with your site. Your pages won't load, or my internet is running slower, so it's taking a long time for it to load a page, and now I decide to leave. Or it could be so many people are on your site and they're using your site, and it's taking a long time for things to load. That bounce rate, which is where customers are utilizing your site, but if it's taking a long time for anything to happen, whether it's I clicked on a product and it's not loading, or I'm trying to make a purchase and it just keeps spinning before I can progress on, or it's so many different steps before I can make a purchase, that bounce rate is where people tend to leave. I'm going to bounce somewhere else where I know that you have a similar product or the exact same product, might be a little bit more, might be the same price, might be a little bit less, but I'm gonna choose to go here because now you've inconvenienced me. So those are some things to consider, and those are some challenges that are related to virtual reality and the online space. So some future trends in virtual merchandising obviously is going to be the integration of artificial intelligence. We already have augmented reality, we already have virtual reality, but that AI driven personalization and recommendations is something that is almost here, almost fully fleshed out, but not quite. And you can see the lady on the screen wearing, it looks like the MetaQuest 2, possibly VR goggles. And you can see that you have like this chat, you have friends, you have the lobby. Like they've created this entire immersive world where possibly even you have your own AI, you have your own person that I can dress based on my body dimensions that look exactly like me. So then I can try on those clothes on my AI, on my kind of figure, or I might have my own personal stylist or shopper. So they're able to go through the entire internet, and based on my preferences and my likes, and again with that social listening, and they might create these different looks for me, similar to like a Stitch Fix, where you have your own personal shopper, and based on your your data that you input, they send you things. But with those subscription based services, they send me the products before I even see them. This AI might show you the products, and then we decide if I want it or not. So that metaverse integration with exploring different opportunities to emerge and kind of go from place to place. Those traveling experiences for the retailer, again, I mentioned earlier, being able to walk through the virtual space. I can get the floor plan or the layout of your store in Birmingham, and then I can walk through that space, and then again my little AI figure pops up, my personal shopper pops up and says, "Oh, you like this? I see you pause here for a moment. Let's grab that. Let's put it in your chart so we can, or your cart, or in your dressing room, and then we'll go try it on later." Advancements in technology, that continued in development of augmented reality and virtual reality technologies for more immersive experiences. These are all the future trends that are being implemented bit by bit now, but definitely within the next 5 to 10, 15 years, maybe even less than that. It could be next year, it could be this year. We're going to see a lot more of this as more people get involved with VR and AR, and as more people start utilizing those MetaQuest goggles for not only entertainment with playing games, but their shopping experiences and even down to touring open houses without physically having to drive there. We're going to see a lot more of this because let's not forget that we're not just talking, even though most of my examples have been geared more so toward fashion, we're not just talking about fashion for the use for virtual merchandising. Merchandising is for a number of different industries. We're talking about restaurants, we're talking about grocery stores, obviously fashion retailers, we're talking about automotive industry, but we're also talking about the housing industry too. We already have the opportunity or the technology to virtually walk through a lot of our spaces when we're looking for apartments or looking for homes, but to have that immersive interaction with a lot of these open houses instead of having to again drive to Birmingham to view a townhouse or a house. I can put on these goggles and then I can virtually walk through that space and I can get a better feel of how things look in real scale. That's something that is trending more so to now for virtual merchandising. And as I said before, it may not happen in the next 5, 10, or 15 years. It could be something that we see a lot more happening this year or even within the next couple of years. But for sure, this is something that is not going away. It's only going to continue to evolve as we get a little bit more, not necessarily selfish, but we want that added convenience and we want again that customization and personalization of almost all aspects of our lives and that seamless integration of technology, of these smart appliances, of these smart technologies in our everyday lives and circumstances. So, as a summary, virtual merchandising just involves using these digital tools that we've been talking about and technologies to showcase the products. And these immersive shopping experiences showcasing these products have to be in a visually appealing way that allows those customers to interact with these products since we are not physically in a store to touch, to feel, to investigate, to inspect. Our augmented reality and virtual reality technologies allow our customers to do so in our own spaces during our own time. So we're not having to adhere to a retailer's hours of operation. We have that 24-hour access to your products, to your services. Customers from various geographic locations can utilize these try on features so we can still engage with the products. I might live in the UK, but you're based here in the US or vice versa. I can't always go to your retailer. I can go on your website though. I can go on your mobile app though, and I can utilize again this AR and this VR technology and be able to interact and engage with your products and with your company. Some some things to always think about though is going to be the availability and the affordability of these advanced technologies that allow us to have this seamless integration of technology and the internet within our retail spaces, whether we're in person or online, but for sure for online purposes. The metaverse and AI integration offers that personalization that so many people are seeking. We want something that's uniquely ours. So using metaverse technology, using AI, using VR, using that customization and personalization allows that. But there are also those security and privacy concerns within the virtual environments, the virtual spaces that always have to be addressed. Being more proactive instead of reactive when it comes down to these security concerns. Don't wait until we're being breached for our data and our customer database has been compromised before we actually step through and step up to put things into place to protect our customers, to protect our business, to ensure that we're using encrypted data and that nothing has been stolen, nothing has been leaked.